So this is another one of these smaller videos that I promised that gives you a bit of a heads up on a larger video, and this is a larger video at about an hour and 10 minutes. I haven't finished editing it yet. It will be the longest video that I've recorded, but there's a lot of stuff. I've maybe packed in more different things than any video that I've ever done before, so justifies the length, I think. And that will be out either tomorrow or the day after, just depending how the rest of the editing goes. And what it is, it's a response to a Hangout that Kristi Winters hosted with Kevin Logan, Michael Rowlands and Garrett, which was effectively listing the logical fallacies and criticising their usage on YouTube, with specific reference to what they see as the anti-feminist community, and especially with reference to to Sargon of Akkad, who was sort of their exemplar of the kind of person that is doing this kind of thing. And it's the point that I want to make in this video is not to sort of go through what I go through there, because there's too much really for me to encapsulate the comments that I make on what they've said. Although a lot of the video boils down to accusations, I suppose, or examples of hypocrisy here, because that's kind of what I see. It's very easy to make these accusations, but we all seem to be playing the same game a lot of the time, which kind of makes a lot of the commentary moot. But that we've been here before, you know. This is maybe a feature of YouTube, that it's everything, like most things in life, it's circular. There's kind of nothing new under the sun, which I think is Ecclesiastes, isn't it? From the Torah, which is probably about the best book. If there's one fucking book of the Bible that I wish I'd written, that I'd put my name to, that would be the one. I mean, I'm kind of pleased I haven't written it, because if I did, I'd be dead, but that would be the one that I'd go for. But this is something we've been at before, where we start to get bogged down with listing logical fallacies. And it ends up, let this be a warning against this, because I didn't think it ended very well when it's happened before, in that discussions start to get bogged down more in terms of the taxonomic discussion of fallacies than it does the actual substance behind the fallacy. And I noticed a little bit of that in their Hangout, and then Sargon of Akkad made a response, and Demotivator Opinion and Bruce Bartup, I've noted their responses to Sargon of Akkad's, and it's all starting to get bogged down in sort of the cladistics of what fallacy goes under what category and how it relates to others and all this kind of shite. And, you know, that isn't very helpful, right? And it's not really what any of us want to hear. I mean, what I want to hear is this. But I realise that probably isn't very helpful. So what generally most of us want to hear is, we want to hear the substance that lies behind it. Most of us agree that most of these things, we don't need them to be categorised for us to appreciate the fact that they are not helpful to the discussion, not helpful to the debate, and that they're misdirecting the debate. And most of these things fall under one of several categories. So it's not really, what I want to ward against is going down those lines. And so what I'm going to leave you with is a little clip of Richard Feynman, who makes just exactly the point that I wanted to make, and he made this on the BBC, I think about 20 years back, something like that. So I'll leave you with Richard Feynman.
One Sunday, all the kids were all walking in little parties with their fathers in the woods. Then the next Monday we were playing in a field, and the kid said to me, "Say, what's that bird? What's the name of it? Do you know the name of that bird?" I says, "I haven't the slightest idea." He said, "Well, it's a brown-throated thrush." He says, "Your father doesn't teach you anything." But my father had already taught me about the names of birds. Once we walked and he says, "That's a brown-throated thrush." He says, "Know what the name of that bird is? A brown-throated thrush. In German, it's called a Flügelflögel. In Chinese, it's called a Qinglongtong. In Japanese, a Tohlatahara," and so on. And when you know all the names in every language of that bird, you know nothing, but absolutely nothing about the bird. And then we would go on and talk about the pecking and the feathers. So I had learned already that names don't constitute knowledge. It's in knowing the name of something.